Go. Okay, I want to welcome everyone to another session, another chapter, and we're going through this real quick. So we're on chapter 5 today, and today the chapter that we're covering and controlling the polarities is feeling, and how do your feelings how do they affect you, right? Like in your performance and the things that you're doing, and how you let other people control your thinking. So one of the things for like the law of attraction and attracting the things that you want, people, circumstances, all that stuff, is you can't let other people get you pissed off, because if that happens, you're not going to be in a good vibration. So the feeling is like the connection from your body to your thought, okay? Because you have feelings in your body, and it creates a vibration, okay? Now your thought is generated from nothing. Now when you think, you're thinking from a place in your mind, but the mind is not the brain, okay? The brain is something physical. The mind is an activity, and it's moving in a frequency. So it's moving. You don't see the frequency, but it's moving. And the whole key is to basically connect your feeling to your thought, because once you start feeling like this is right, kind of like a hunch, this is right, this is going to help me get to the next level, then things are going to start happening around you, magical type of stuff that doesn't make any sense. And I see it happening to people all the time. People that are in this business, I see them, going from making $500 a month to $1,000 a month. I see people crying on the phone, and then literally like 2, 3 crying, celebrating, crying because they reach that milestone or that point where they wanted to get to the next level. And it's happening to people, so you have to have a burning desire and be emotionally involved and feel good. And what happens is 99% of people do not get this. So they don't understand that. They don't understand the process. They don't understand how it works, because you have to understand the outward, and you have to understand the inward. In other words, you have to understand what's going on outside of you, so you can understand what's going on inside of you. And when you understand what's going on inside of you, then you can understand why things are the way they are outside of you. Because the outside world has projected itself upon your life to make you think that that is who you are, your makeup, your self-image. And the self-image is the inner you. It's the you that thinks in secret. That's why James Allen says, you think in secret and it comes to pass. Your environment is but your looking glass. That's what he said. As a man thinketh, he said, mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind. And evermore he takes the tools of thought, shaping what he wills, brings 1,000 joys or 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret and it comes to pass. His environment is but his looking glass. What are you thinking about? And you were taught to look at your life as you're this person that grew up in this certain neighborhood that made a certain amount of money, and the odds of you moving to the next level were basically slim to none, right? And when you figured out that you had the master key, when you figured out that you are the creator of your own economy, and that you could literally change your whole environment by changing the way you think, then the game is over. It's like they say with Bitcoin and Ethereum and Hex cryptocurrency. Game is over. The genie's been let out of the bottle. There is no stopping it now. Like there's a song like that. There is no stopping it now. And as time goes by, things are just going to get better and better, because our humanity is for expansion and further expression, never for hard times. So we're looking to grow. What does that mean? Buying a new car, buying a bigger house, selling your old house, getting into a bigger house, traveling. In my case, it's, let's just take all the material things away. I want to enjoy life, and I want to travel, and I want to experience something new. So every day I wake up and I'm experiencing a new part of Spain, going to new places, new restaurants, walking by the beach. Today, I'm going to get ready right now. I just, did some research. I was just doing some work, and then getting ready to go by the beach. Gonna go take a walk. But that's how this stuff works. This stuff works because you've been programmed at birth, genetically and environmentally, by what your parents did, by what you've seen. And you've also been programmed environmentally by who you were around. That's why Bob Proctor says, their environment is more important than heredity. That's why he says welfare recipients are third, fourth generation welfare recipients. Why? Because they see nothing but poverty, and that's what they attracted. So what you have to do is go into Fantasyland and basically start cutting out pictures from magazines like boats, cars, houses, and kind of like look at these things as they could be your possession. There could be your material things, the things that you want to aim for, the stuff that would make you feel good. But what's funny is that you're trying to look for something that's making you feel good. And the question is, do you feel good right now? Right? So you really have to start to think. And I just go into meditation, and I'll just do it randomly because I don't have a 9 to 5. I'll just close the door and I'll just close my eyes. I take cat naps in the day, and I let a higher awareness communicate with me. I let, God send me pictures of something that I want for maybe 2021. But you're not going to be able to do that if you can't control your feelings. You're not going to be able to do that if you let somebody throw you off your square. It's like me. When I almost died, I almost killed someone in a car accident. The judge was like, look, I'm not going to send you to jail. I'm going to send you to a military program. And I had a drill instructor. And she's like, don't ever let anyone put you out your square, or don't get out of the square. So a square is where you are in a military position, and sometimes they tell you adjust, and you say, yes, sir, adjust, sir. So then you could stretch. Oh, I could stretch. Adjust, sir, adjust, sir, and then you stretch, and then they say 0, and then you go back into your square, and you're in military position. And you learn these things. You learn that you should never let anyone throw you off your square. You should never let anyone's opinion of you affect your performance. Like, for me, it's fucking funny as hell. And, I do have the habit of swearing, when I'm doing a business deal or some crazy ass shit, right? You know, and sometimes you think that force is going to help you get to the next level. Like you can force people to do what you want them to do. It's called the law of attraction, not the law of assertion. You can't impose your will upon somebody else. So you have to really sit and think about what you really, really, really want, not what other people want for you, not what other people think they want for you, but what you want for yourself. And how do you feel? Because the material things, you know, the nice car, the house, the boat, all this stuff, that is the outcome of a reflection of what you're thinking about. But since the feeling controls the thought, a lot of people think that the thought controls the feeling, right? But I think that the feeling controls the thought. It's because like the subconscious mind is thinking when you're not thinking. You only think like 2-3% of the time. You're kind of lazy, right? So the subconscious mind is thinking and it's running on autopilot. It's like it's going where it needs to go. And if you have a problem, eventually you're going to try to fix it, but it goes back to how you used to be. That's why a paradigm is a habitual program that's running in your subconscious mind. And these programs are either meant to destroy you or make you lazy or make you a better person. And you can replace the paradigm and write a new paradigm to take the place of the old paradigm. So you have to understand that feeling is the connection between the thought, the energy, and the attraction. If you're not in a good feeling, you're not going to perform your A+ game. You're not going to give it 150%. Like Napoleon Hill says, go the extra mile. And we all fail at that because we have a habit of drifting away and letting the subconscious mind take over. We have the habit of like just sitting there not thinking, and the subconscious mind is doing all the work, and we're just going by about our daily life, not even realizing that we have a subconscious mind. People don't even know this. People don't know that Dr. Thurman Fleets in 1934 drew out a picture of a stick person. And this is what Bob Proctor went to Chicago to find out how he got rich, reading Think and Grow Rich, the book by Napoleon Hill. So he goes to Chicago. Earl Nightingale and Leland Van Vanderwall explained to him the picture of the stick person that was done by a Dr. Thurman Fleets in 1934 in San Antonio, Texas. Now, I don't have a image of the stick person. If you want to find out how it looks, message me. But the top part represents your conscious mind. The bottom part represents your subconscious mind. And in the subconscious mind is your emotion, is your feeling. It's like what they taught you when you were little. This is a cat, this is a pig, this is a horse, and this is your name. And this is the most your parents have ever made. And nine times out of 10, that's what you will aim for, because you think that going for a couple million or going for something out of the ordinary would not be obtainable because your parents didn't do it, right? So it is heredity. It is environmental. You have to start to think like why you keep doing the same shit, why you keep doing the same things over and over, and how can you get the breakthrough in your life to actually pick up the phone and start calling people to grow your business, because that's how your business is going to grow. You're not going to grow your business with the controller watching TV. It's not going to work that way. There is never something for nothing. You have to pay the price, like Napoleon Hill said. So we can't let other people's opinions destroy our dreams. And you can't impress other people. You know, the only person that you should be trying to work on is yourself. You shouldn't be trying to keep up with the Jonases or the Jones next door. You know how they say that, because everyone's competing to have more. But the reality is, you can have anything you want because you were born rich, just like Bob Proctor said in the book. You were born rich. You were born rich. The issue that we had was ignorance, because the 1% of the 1%, the global elites, the people that know the secret, according to, you know, some people that I talked to, they didn't want this information to get leaked out. They didn't want people to know that you could literally become what you think about. So instead, what they did was they control the television stations, they control everything around you, and they tell you what to think. And then they divide you. And then they control the money system. Like, a lot of people think the Federal Reserve is a private corporation, is not for, like, you know, working for the government, but it's actually a private corporation. Now, it goes back to like 1913. I looked into it. I can't tell you if it is private or not, but what we see is massive money printing in huge quantities, and they're destroying the middle class. They're destroying the average person that wants to go out there in the workforce, because as they print more money, the cost of goods get higher to reach, and your salary stays stagnant. They don't pay you more salary. These are all physical things that we see in the material world. And then we entertain them. We start thinking of daily trivia until ultimately we become enslaved by it. Um, I forgot who quoted it. I think that was Robert Heimlich from Strangers in a Strange Land. It's a book that Bob Proctor recommended. Strangers in a Strange Land. He says that we'll become we'll become addicted. I guess that's what you want to say, is addicted to entertainment, to watching daily trivia, until ultimately we become enslaved by it. Because it's that 97% subconscious mind that's thinking for you that gets a message in a subconscious state, where your subconscious mind is gravitating towards the television. It already knows where to go. So how do you control it? You control it with your thought and with your will, with your higher faculties, with your concentration factor, because you have one. And like Napoleon Bonaparte, he took over France. He had a strong will. He knew these higher faculties. That's why they could never get rid of this guy. Like, he literally went into France twice, and he crowned himself Roman emperor. How did he do that? He did that because he had a strong will. He would tell his generals, attack. The circumstances, I create the circumstances, attack. So you have these abilities, but you've been programmed up to this point, or maybe, you know, up to the point where you found out about this, that you could literally start to attract certain people, certain businesses by the way you think. So you've been working backwards. You've been thinking, excuse me. You've been working thinking that everything in the outside was there as a way for you to go along with it. But the reality is that you could go along with it, but you could also create something new and force the outside world to entertain your idea, if that makes any sense. So what you do is you start where you are, and you think about something that you want. That's why having a pen is very important. Writing it down, very important. On our WhatsApp groups, I posted how to properly write out a goal card. If you saw that message, you probably seen that message and downloaded it. It's like a 10-page report on how to actually write this stuff down and actually have something, because we're going into 2021 and people don't have any desire, because our society has pulled the plug on our way of life. You can't go to the store after 6. You can't do this. You have to wear a mask. Watch the news today. Donald Trump's going to do a report. Blah, 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 blah. This is happening everywhere, not just the US. Spain, I'm in Spain. It's happening everywhere. So there is great opportunity right now, and there's people making millions of dollars, and there's people living out their dreams today, right now. We can't see it because we have lower faculties. We've been reduced. You've been reduced to see, to smell, to taste, to heat, to smell, taste, hear, and touch, right? You've been reduced to the ridiculous. But your mind is there to help you pull the plug on your lower faculties, to help you. Yes, you're going to have a cup of coffee. I threw some Nutella in here. Okay. But you have to build the higher faculties. So you build the higher faculties by creating these pictures. And if you can't create a picture, then go into a magazine and start cutting out the pictures that you like. Put them all around your house. Put them in your car. Put them in your wallet, in your purse. And keep thinking about your goal. Keep writing out your goal through auto-suggestion, because that's where the subconscious mind is going to pick it up. And when you're in a good feeling, the feeling comes from your spirit of gratitude. I was just talking to my other friend yesterday. He started a business where they're doing signs for businesses, like big signs, like neon signs, and they could do any type of design. Now that you got the computer, you could do any type of design for businesses. There's a lot of money in signs, in digital signs, and artwork, and lighting, the right lights, what kind of material, making thousands of dollars from that type of business. Then he has a tequila company. He's working on that as well. So you have to have multiple sources of income, because some sources of income might die out and some will keep going. But he was excited when he started those businesses. He had another business before. He had to start from scratch. But when you understand this material, you could entertain an idea like, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm making $100,000 a month. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm making $100,000 a week, $100,000 a day. Now, I know that sounds over the top, right? But these concepts are over the top. Going from making, the most I've ever made was $65,000 a year, to making $65,000 every 2 weeks. I think the most I made in a month was about $140,000 a month. And I did it. Now, that was a goal that I put for 3 years. Now I'm working on new goals. I'm writing books, something that I was never good at. And I'm talking about controlling the polarities. We're on chapter 5. Now, right now, I'm getting ready to publish my first book, is The Profit Express. And these are ideas that come to me. Controlling the polarities, it came to me. It was just an idea. And then I'm like, okay, well, let me write out the chapters. Let me, figure out what I'm going to talk about. So one of the chapters, chapter 5, is feeling. And you have to feel good all the time. Like, if you're not in a relationship and you need someone to love, right? Buy yourself a dog. I did that. Go buy yourself a dog, find a dog, you could hug a dog, right? It's a man's best friend. You could buy yourself a fish. Um, do a sport. I like to play basketball. Okay. I like to go to the gym. I like to work out. Start doing some squats, start doing some bends and thrusts, some burpees, some jumping jacks, right? Um, so I'll get on the bench and start training on weights and stuff. Um, so there is a lot of things you could do. Maybe you like to do golf. Maybe you like to go swimming. I like to go swimming. I would go swimming right now, but it's a little bit cold. Um, but you might like to go skiing. I don't know. But everyone has different likes, and everyone has a different way of expressing themselves or being creative, because you are a creative. You are a creator. So use those faculties to overcome what these negative programs are telling you and what you think they're telling you. And it's as easy as having a pen. And if you're in the right feeling, if you can maintain what's called a positive mental attitude, PMA, you can have a positive mental attitude every single day. And I love my life. Like, I wake up when I want, I write my own checks, I travel. And I was talking to my friend yesterday, and he's like, so how do you buy food? How do you pay for your apartments? Like, how do you live? Like, how do you live your life? And I'm like, well, you can pretty much say I'm retired, but I'm not retired because I'm doing what I love to do. So it's not even considered work. It's doing what you love to do. And people do not believe that this is possible. They don't believe that you can live a good life with the thoughts that you're entertaining. They think that working hard is going to get them to the next level. They think that, like my dad, he always had a hammer because he worked construction. And every time I talk to him, not every time, but when I talk to him every now and then, he's like, look at my elbow. My bone is coming out of my hand. And I'm like, why is it look like that? Like he's going to form or something, right? And he's like, because I used to hammer all the time. I was hammering all the time. And I was working construction to raise you guys. I had to work hard. So it's the ego. It's, not that he's a bad person. He's a great father, a great person, right? Hard worker, but there is another way. And if I were to ask him, like, look, let me ask you a question. Let's just say you came up with an idea to create your own hammer, or maybe make your own company or something like that, something of that nature, right? Would you do it? Would you not work the business, like work construction? Would you start your own company, your own business? He'd probably say yes. But the first thing, I know my dad, the first thing he would say is, how am I going to do it? How is it going to happen? And let me tell you guys right now, you don't have to worry about how. You don't have to worry about how you're going to go from making, if the most you've ever made is, like, let's say 60,000 pounds or $60,000, and you want to make 60,000 a month, every single month consistently, then you're going to have to do something extraordinarily different that you've never done before. And not only do you have to do that, but you have to believe that you could actually accomplish it. So what does belief consist of? It consists of your appearances, how you look, how you present yourself. Now with Zoom, you're able to, put on a shirt and a tie, you might have some shorts on, and you could do a Zoom call and people think that you're all suited up. Our world is changing, and you have to adjust. Like my drill instructor said, adjust. Sir, yes, sir. Adjust, sir. Now you're able to stretch. But it's the working out, the military, the push-ups, the running, the bends and thrusts with the mule kick and a jump, the craziness, the crying, the sweating, the throwing up, the getting in trouble, doing your bed, folding your clothes, cleaning toilets, cleaning the floor, doing the laundry, doing all that, preparing the meals, making sure that you brush your teeth, shaving, cutting people's hair, cutting your own hair, or someone cuts your hair, right? It's all the crazy stuff that you're doing that you start to appreciate what you have. It's like when I was going through that program, I came out of that program thinking this person has no idea what freedom is all about. Those people that died in the military, they basically died for the country. And what is the country doing? What are the countries doing? Telling people there's a deadly virus, stay inside, let's crash the economies. Meanwhile, there's someone getting rich with Bitcoin, with Ethereum, with Hex, making millions of dollars. Why? Because there's great opportunity when there is a recession, a depression. And they're talking about this could be the biggest depression since 1929. Is it? Because on this side, where I'm at, with what we teach, there is no depression. The only depression that existed or ever exists is the one you set up in your own mind. And that's what Napoleon Hill says. I truly believe everything that man was talking about, because he was broke. He had no mom. He was hungry. He had to work as a newspaper reporter. He was broke. His brother Vivian was a lawyer. His brother Vivian wanted him to become a lawyer. He was a divorce attorney, and he never got married because all he seen was battling in court about money, about kids, about this, about property, about this. And he never got married. So Napoleon Hill's like, nah, I want to have a wife. Like, I'm fine. Thanks, Vivian. I'm going to go to New York and interview the richest person, Andrew Carnegie. And he did. And Andrew Carnegie put him up to a challenge. He said, Napoleon, would you be interested in writing about the laws of success for 20 years without pay? It took him about 28 seconds. He says, yes, Mr. Carnegie, sir, you could depend on me that I will achieve it. And it took him 20 years. He almost felt like giving up, just like Thomas Edison when he created the incandescent light bulb. It took him 20 years, and then he came up with Think and Grow Rich. There was a police officer was going to give him a ticket. He's like, you wrote Think and Grow Rich? He's like, yeah, I'm Napoleon Hill. He's like, let me see your license. Shows him the license. Like, wow, like I'm shocked. Let me just rip up the ticket. Like, oh boy, Napoleon Hill. Let me just rip up the ticket. You saved my life. You know, you helped me get on the police force, and I owe it to your book, Think and Grow Rich. Because like the first chapter is like the introduction, but desire is like the first chapter. What is your desire? You have to have something that you want. For people that are in I Am organization, if you like working with networking and you like to build people, you like to help and mentor people, then you're in the right business, because a lot of people need your help. So don't think of yourself, just think of how many people you can impact. There's actually a law of compensation. It states that is there a need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there will be in replacing you. Is there a need for what we do? Yes. Zoom. Get an account with them. Get on the phone. Start doing Zoom calls. Your ability to do it. Are you good at what you do? And the difficulty there will be in replacing you. And all this comes from how you feel. That's why I talked about it in this chapter. How do you feel? John Canary, one of Bob Proctor's business partners, he's like, how do you feel? And everyone's down, like, oh, we feel okay. No, how do you feel? How do you guys feel? We feel great. Good, let's start the seminar. We got a high amplitude of vibration. The heart vibration is stronger. The pulse is stronger in the heart than it is in your mind. So I know that sounds crazy, right? But there's more signals in the heart chakra, in the heart, than there is in your mind. Like your mind is great because you can generate a thought from energy. Energy just is. It's neither created nor destroyed. It's 100% evenly present in all places at all times. It's the cause and effect of itself. It has no past and no future. Energy. You are energy and you are a spirit. You're both. You're energy with spirit. You're a spirit with energy. You have a spirit inside of you. It's radiating. It has this aura. There was a doctor, not a doctor, a photographer, Samian Curlian. He perfected a form of photography called Curlian photography. You guys may want to Google that. Curlian photography, late back in the 30s, he perfected a form of photography where you could actually take a picture of someone and you could see the mass leaving the body, like just leaking out, just coming. It's all around you, but it's coming out of you. It's just coming out, but it's coming in and it's going out. It's coming in, it's going out constantly. It's like these AirPod Pros. They don't have it yet, but eventually you could place them on a wireless battery charger. You don't have to plug them in. You could just put them on the energy and automatically they're going to charge. And then I could pick them up, say, they're fully charged, just like your phone. Like my Note 9, I got the Note 9 over here. I got people on Facebook. We're live. I could put the Note 9 on one of those wireless chargers, and in a couple hours, the phone's going to be fully charged. Well, guess what? You're connected to that energy wirelessly. You have no wire, okay? You don't need a wire. You're always going to be plugged in. I don't care where you're at. You can go in a dungeon. You can be in a dungeon, and this energy will go right through the cement. Like, I actually went downstairs in Chicago in the Federal Reserve Building, all the way downstairs where all the money's at in downtown Chicago. I took a picture with a briefcase, $1 million. I'm sitting there like, yeah, look, I got $1 million. I got that picture at my mom's house. My mom framed it. Oh, my son, he's with $1 million, right? I go downstairs in the building and I asked the person that was showing us around, the guide, I'm like, look, why are what's inside of the walls? He's like, there's jets from World War II, bombers, like military craft inside of the cement. And I'm like, why? He's like, because if they ever try to come underground to come in, they can't. It's going to take them years to get through the wall. They fortified. They basically made it where you can't go through. And if maybe upstairs gets bombed, you still can't feel the vibration. You won't understand what's happening because you're in the bunker. You're underground. Well, guess what? If you're mining gold, if you're mining silver in a cave and you're underground, like those people in South America, those miners, they got stuck underground for like 60 days. And then they came up and they had to have glasses on like this because they couldn't see for 60 days. They were in darkness. They had to give them water, and give them material and try to get them out of the ground and feed them manually. Well, guess what? That energy goes right through those walls. That energy around you is going right through the walls. It's going all the way underground. And if you're deep down in the sea, all the way down there in darkness, it's still going to hit you. It's still going to go in your body. It's all around you. When you lose hope and faith and you start thinking like a hypochondriac, someone that is consistently telling themselves that they have a sickness. It's called a hypochondriac. Napoleon Hill talked about it. He said there was a lady that kept saying she had cancer in her left arm. I'm not sure which arm, but I'll just say she had cancer on her left arm. And she's like, oh my God, I'm going to die of cancer. Oh my God, and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? After 5 to 10 years of herself telling herself that she had cancer in her left arm, she ended up in the newspaper dead. They reported her dead. And she died, guess what? Of cancer. So autosuggestion is important and could serve you, but could also destroy you. Because like I said, you have this energy. What are you doing with the energy? Control the polarity. Control what you think. Control what you're attracting. Make beautiful images of abundance because it's all around you. It's your God-given ability. God didn't put you on this planet to suffer, to have lack and limitations. He put you to be like Jesus Christ, infinite, infinite. He taught us that in the Bible. And I believe that the Bible might have been misinterpreted by, I don't want to say who, right? The powers that be. And basically are telling us that we're not supposed to be wealthy, that we're supposed to be dumbed down because we don't deserve it. Do we? Do we deserve it? I believe we do. I believe that we deserve all the good things and that our maker didn't bring us here to suffer. Those were created by people to control us, to control the way we think, because they knew that we had power and they needed us to be entertained. Like Adolf Hitler, when he needed to control those people in Germany, what did he do? He gave everyone a radio set. The radio was pretty, they didn't have TVs back then. So what did they do? Every home had to have a radio. And what would the husband do when he came home? Because most of the women stayed home. The husband would turn on the radio, and the wife and the children and the husband, they all sat there listening to the radio. All right, let's hear what Adolf Hitler's saying today. Kill them Jews! Kill them Jews! Lock those Jews up! Those Jews are criminals! And everyone's like, wow, yeah, one of the Jews shot a military guard today. We're gonna hang this guy. And everyone's sitting there like, wow, yeah, this guy's right. Man, these Jews are evil. And what did that little kid do? Since he was born, all he heard was hatred. He grew up to be the best Nazi in town. They gave him a rifle. He's out there shooting German Jews. He's out there shooting any Jew that comes his way. He's going to shoot. No hesitation. And it wasn't up until the 1900s, William James was the first professor from Harvard University that taught psychology. But psychology goes back a long way. Hypnosis goes back a long way. You know, I related to Frank Mesmer from 1750. Frank Mesmer, if you ever heard of the word mesmerism, it comes from him. You could Google it, Frank Mesmer. And he basically taught a way where how to do what is called animal magnetism, where you would put someone in a subconscious state and you would heal them with the energy. You would heal them with the energy, guys. You could actually heal someone with the energy because you have the energy. It's all around you. And you can magnify that energy. You can make it more magnetic. It's like the balloon, when they put it on your hair, they kept moving it. Your hair goes up. The same thing with the energy. You know, you magnetize it and then you heal the person. Let me heal you. Now, I don't do that, right? But it'd be cool if I did know, because I'd be like, all right, so tell me today, what do you have there, sir? Oh, I'm having heart problems. All right, you know what? Instead of using that thing where you just hit someone, you just shock them. Let me just use my hands real quick. Let me just shock you. Bam! Fixed. Oh, you have a headache. All right, hold on. Give me a second here. Bam! Fixed. But guess what? We don't believe that that's real. But there's people out there, I don't know where, but there's somewhere out there that they could take this energy and they can literally change you, change the way you think. That's what psychology is about. That's what William James taught in Harvard in the 1900s. He said your belief system is based upon your evaluation of something. And frequently, if you reevaluate a situation, your beliefs about that situation will change. It's like you're looking at what's outside of you, and if you change the way that you see it, then everything will change. If you change the way you see it, the outcome, if you change your perception, a higher faculty, a God-given ability, If you're thinking negative about that situation, flip the switch, think positive about that situation, and then the outcome will change. And a lot of people think, oh, well, the outcome was already there. And that's what Dr. Thurman Fleets in 1934, what he was saying was, we can't treat the effect, we need to treat the cause. We need to treat the human being, not the effect. Like, you might be addicted to drugs, but that is, addiction is not coming from the drug. It's coming from your thought, from the way you're thinking, and from your feeling about something that happened. And what is anger? Anger is depression turned inwards. Anger is depression turned inwards, because you're angry, but you can't get it out. So what do? You get depressed, and then you start drinking. So how do you control that? You control that by doing exercise, by reading a book, by doing an activity to get that energy on a neutral state where you're not thinking. Your mind is thinking 60,000 thoughts a day. The whole point is to control the 60,000 thoughts. You're not going to control it. So what do you have to do? You have to meditate. You have to go into a place like maybe a sauna. You can't go in a sauna now because you might catch the coronavirus, but you go somewhere where you're just neutral about everything. And then you get out of that, then you can start to think better. You kind of like buff the car out, buff out your mind, and then you can think better. And it's done by the way you feel. Be around people that want the best for you. Let go of garbage and people that are not lifting you up. I remember getting out of a toxic relationship with this toxic relationship. And there's two sides. There's my side and her side, right? There's two sides. But the funny thing about it is I was actually having a conversation with someone in California, a girl, right? And she told me, Ross, the meaning of a relationship is basically when you are with the right person, it's about you giving value to the other person. So you're sharing value, you're lifting each other up. If the person is not lifting you up and doesn't believe in you, then it might not be the right person. But if the person believes in you and says, man, you can do it, you're gonna do it. But you know, like, hey baby, you know, we might lose the house. I'm going for this big goal, you know, and I can make millions of dollars, or I can have residual income. I can start my company. Look, baby, let's do it. You know, I got your back, you know, and I'm here with you. But a lot of women, because of society, because of Instagram, because of Facebook, excuse me for everyone on Facebook, but a lot of women are not going to do that. A lot of women are going to be like, what? No, if you quit that job to go after your goals and your desires, call me. I'm going to go to my mom's house, or I'm moving out. You figure it out. Let me know when you want to get a job like a regular person. 99% of people are living the regular life. Do you want to be a part of the 99%? I don't. Because of the 99%, I ended up almost killing someone and almost killing myself. Because Napoleon Hill says that the biggest failure of mankind is failure to take possession of your own mind. Because if you took possession of your mind, you could have anything you want, and you could have it in abundance. You can have it in abundance. That's what God said. You want the kingdom? Okay. Follow these laws. You can have the kingdom. Follow them. Money is a magnifier. Money makes you more of who you are. So if you're a bad person, you're going to be even more of a bad person. That's why in the self-confidence formula, Napoleon Hill says that, he says in the first chapter, the first part, he's like, I know that any dominating thought persistently held in my mind will eventually reproduce itself into our physical action. And I promise here and now to render such action. I know through the principle of autosuggestion that any idea that I keep repeating, will manifest into our physical action. Any idea. It's called priming. Now, I'm not into this guy over there, Tony Robbins, but he talks about priming when he does his seminars. And Bob Proctor talks about priming. Our consultants prime every hour. We repeat. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. How do I do it so fast? Because I prime it. Every hour on the hour. Prime. Like Optimus Prime from Transformers. Yeah, I used to love Optimus Prime when I was a little kid. All right. Prime. Prime, prime, prime. Like Amazon Prime, which I just subscribed to last week. Isn't it funny how the subconscious mind brings you the things that you're thinking about? So that's how the stuff works. Auto-suggestion. But the law is to help mankind. That's why Napoleon Hill says in his self-confidence formula, it must affect positively all whom is around you. It must affect everyone positively. It must be God's will, because there's an overriding factor. There's your will, and it's like the king, right? Like someone gives the king a letter, but it's not you giving it to him. There's a middleman. The middleman takes the king the letter, and he's like, "Hey, king, we got a request from one of these commoners, these Gentiles or whatever, like back in the day." It's like, let me read it. So open up the scroll. Okay, all right, we're good. Yeah, that let me put my candle wax with the red with the seal. Okay, stamp of approval. There you go. You know, your wish has been fulfilled. What the things that you want have came about. Same thing. God gets the signal. I don't know who the middleman is. You could say the middleman is the energy that's connected to God, because maybe God's sitting up there and he's like the main guy with the energy, the main guy that's letting out the energy. Or maybe he's connected through spirit, right? But Adolf Hitler was destroyed because he didn't have God's will. His will was to kill people that didn't do anything to him. And he tried killing a whole race. A whole race. He wanted to exterminate, like cockroaches. Call the exterminator. He wanted them gone. Same thing with Napoleon Bonaparte. Destroyed. Because you have to have, ultimately, the overriding factor is God. So if your goal is to get rich, to help mankind, then great, because you're going to give back. Like there's a legend or a myth about Andrew Carnegie that people talk about, that when he died, he had 2 gold cards. The first part of his life, he put that he was going to dedicate to make millions of dollars. The second part of his life, he was going to dedicate to giving it all away. So it's like, do you even have a gold card? You've been on these calls probably 10, 20 times. Have you really went at night to write this stuff down? The true desires, your life script, your life purpose. What are you here to do? And Chris Cross did that. Chris Cross already wrote it out. He's not wasting any time, because he knows that if he doesn't take possession of his mind, it's going to take possession of you. And for me, I was 27. There was thoughts that I had. I didn't know the higher faculties. I didn't know what the will is, the concentration factor. I didn't know what my imagination was. I didn't know these stuff. And like I said, I let other people destroy me. I let other people's opinions of what they thought that I thought of me, instead of me thinking whatever it is that I'm going for, whatever it is that I desire, painting images of success. And then I ended up in jail. And then I had to get bonded out with my sister, and my brother-in-law bonded me out. I didn't even have the money. Then I had to sell my Range Rover. I had to sell my car was totaled. I had another car totaled, but I lost everything I had. And that wasn't the first time. I've lost plenty of times. But when I listened to Napoleon Hill, I knew that there was a secret, a master key. That's what he says in the Laws of Success. May you be seated, please. Let me tell you guys about a secret about life, that you can literally have anything you want. But you were born with two different fates, two different options. One option is everything you did want. The second option is everything you didn't want because you failed to take possession of your mind. You see, the whole purpose of you being here is to control. Who do you control? You can't control anyone. You can only control yourself. And the more you control you, the more you attract. The more you attract the right people, circumstances, places, money, houses, cars. And you're not part of the 99% rat race that is out there stuck in traffic, calling their friends, saying, hey, when are we going to go out tonight? Let's waste our money. Let's go to the casino. Now the casino's closed because of the coronavirus. So I had did a little bit of research, and it turned out that like thousands of years ago, we were into this creation process. And we were taught to use our left part of our brain, the logical side. But humanity is waking up to using the right side, to being creators. That's why schools are not open. And now you're at home, like my son, literally at home, working out in the living room at his house on Zoom, because they're preparing us for a shift. And I believe that humanity is going through a shift where we're going to go into a new level of creation, of attraction, a higher awareness of getting more abundance. We don't have to question where it's coming from. It's like you go buy some eggs. Where did that egg come from? Oh, it came from a chicken. Okay, well, where's the chicken? I don't know. We got to find that chicken. Can you really find that chicken? That chicken probably doesn't exist, guys. Probably doesn't exist. And there's different theories, like, are we living in a simulation? And if we are, it's okay, because guess what? Like Neo in the Matrix, you could literally go into the simulation. And what is the simulation? Whatever you want. Whatever you want. But you have to be precise. Like, you have to know what, why, when, where, but you don't have to know how. That's the beautiful part about it. And everyone starts off with how. Like when you ask people, hey, you're going to make $10 million. You're going to do this, this, this. Okay, I got that. I got when, why, where, how, right? But I didn't get how. How is this going to happen again? And you let the how control the way you think, and you can never go for the big goals. You have 3 different levels. You have 3 options. Option A, you go for something you already know how to do. Option B, you go for something you think you can do. And option C, you go after something that scares the shit out of you. You go after, like me, go to Europe, no apartment, and never go back to the United States. Like, I'm in Europe now, guys. I'm not in the US. Are you coming back, Ross? Maybe. I might go back. We'll see. I might not. I might not ever go back to the United States. My mom has a house in Mexico. I like being free. I like my freedom. I like paying $10 in taxes a year for a property that I own. $10 in taxes a year for a property that I own. I'd rather do that because I want to be free. I want to be happy. I want to travel. I don't want somebody breathing down my neck, asking me what time I should be home, or asking me why I'm not home and why haven't I done this or this. I don't give a shit, because guess what? This is my life. You can't control me. You can't tell me what to do. I'm going to create my own economy, whether you like it or not, because this is my life. I wake up every day in the morning grateful that I can breathe, that I have 2 nostrils to breathe air, oxygen to my brain. And I can go for a run, and I'm great. 37, I feel like I'm 17. I could do 50 push-ups, some jumping jacks. No problem, because you got to stretch yourself. Comfort is not where you want to be. Your comfort zone is your broke zone. You want to be a creator? Okay, great. Get on these calls. That's how this stuff works. The more you work out this muscle in your mind, the more you work out this muscle in your mind, the better you're going to be, because this is like going to the gym. We have a question, and then we're going to end the call. We have someone saying, I'm done with it. I'm thankful, but I want more. Great. And that's how you know that you're on the right call, because you're actually opening up, talking to me, asking me. You're actually saying, you know what? I want this shit. I want to do this. Like, I don't care about everything else. All the shit that happened to me from back then, I don't care. I'm not looking through the rear view. Like Tupac, when he wrote that song, staring at the world through my rear view. 3 months later, he ended up dying in Las Vegas. I actually went where he got shot by Paradise Drive. There's like a pole right there. Everybody writes on it, rest in peace, Tupac. Like, I looked up to Tupac. Tupac was crazy as hell, all tatted up. One day he's hanging around with the Crips, another day he's hanging around with the Bloods. In gangs, crazy, smoking weed in the street, making movies, singing songs, making millions of dollars. Talking about Brenda's Got a Baby, talking about Hold Your Head Up, right? A lot of people love this guy. And unfortunately, he ended up dying young. Untapped potential. He tapped out his potential right away, and then he's gone. So go for it. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Just go for it. And not only just go for it, act as if, because nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. You're a spirit. You have no past, no future. You've always been here. So that means you already have it. Time doesn't exist. Time was put here to reduce you even more. The whole purpose is to keep reducing you, to keep you programmed to this existence that was here from what you've seen and what you perceive to see. But there's people that understand that if they change the perception and they see their existence as something meaningful, something great that's going to get them to the next level, they get rich. They're attracting an abundance because they were brought up that way. But not too many people were brought up that way. And even the people that were rich, that grew up to productive families, that had everything they ever had, their children end up growing miserable and sick and not happy. So sometimes you don't get what you want, you get what you fear. But most importantly, you get what you are. You get who you are. You get, like Earl Nightingale says, what you think about all day long. So analyze those thoughts, write them down, have a goal. I sent out how to properly write out a goal card. You guys, if you guys don't have it, message me. I'll get that over to you. And you can find all these videos on Wealth Mindset Group on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, hit like, join our calls on Zoom every day. And if you can't join on Zoom every day, then you can go watch the calls on YouTube on Wealth Mindset Group. Okay? So I want to thank you guys for your time. If there's anyone that has any more questions, I'm not going to end the call right away. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. But I want to thank you guys for your time. Let's see how many people were on the call. We had 7 people on the call today. Nice. Promote the call, guys. Let's try to get, at one point, we had like close to 50 people on the call. Let's try to get close to 50 people on the call. I know I'm in Spain, but it doesn't matter where I'm at. When we had 50 people on the call, I was in UK at Stratford Mall. But I'm not over there right now. I'm in Spain. I might be here for a while. So thank you guys for your time. Thank everyone on Facebook. I'm going to make this available so you guys can share the video. And if there's anyone struggling with their finances or relationships, get them on this call, because it could literally make a difference in your life. So I want to thank everyone. Thank everyone on Zoom and on Facebook. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace out.